Okay, look, I'm gonna do this one time, okay? You got what you wanted. You guys keep asking, you keep bugging me, give us a tutorial, can you show us how to do it? I need to get into rigging. Fine. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to animate a transformer. Well, I'm gonna speak over the animation I already did, and hopefully you can learn from that. Alright, so we're gonna start here. Okay, so starting off, one thing you have to know is that from an animation perspective, if it's not in the camera, if you can't see it in the final camera view, it doesn't matter. It's fine. If it looks janky outside of the bounds, doesn't matter. So especially with transformations, with transformers, always consider that if it looks good in the camera, that's all that matters. Look at this transformation of Barricade in Transformers 2007. Okay, so notice how if you look outside the bounds view, some of the parts disappear. Some of them are not even touching each other. Some of them aren't connected. Some of them will flip over. You can't even tell where it went. You can't see it in the camera view, so it doesn't matter. Let's take a look at another one, Bone Crusher. Now, this is how his transformation looks in the movie. Looks fantastic. If you take that camera and you move it outside of bounds, it looks all kinds of janky, okay? But you can't see that, so it doesn't matter. It is irrelevant because the final result is what you see in the movie, and it looks awesome. That's all that matters. Now, this isn't a rigging tutorial, so I will not be teaching how to rig in this video, but I can link rigging tutorials in the description. Now, the rig of a transformer is broken up into layers, and the way I break up my layers is very simple. I have the main body, the character location, the armor, the interior pieces, what I call body turns, and the vehicle parts. Those are the main layers that I have for my transformers. Now, typically for my transformers, I use a very basic child-parent constraint setup. And what that looks like is, say for example, right here, I have the arm, and I have all these armor segments that are on the forearm. Now, if I move the forearm, those pieces are going to move with it. That means I do not have to move all those individual pieces at once. Now, here is an example of how this is used in the films. Now, this is one of my favorite transformations, the Dreadbot in Transformers Dark of the Moon. Now, if you look very closely, you'll see that there are parts spinning and moving at the same time, and there are little pieces that kind of go with it. So we're going to run that back. We're going to slow it down. If you look right here, you can see that the back kind of flips up and rotates over, and as it does that, you can see all those pieces are moving in unison. That is because they have a parent. Now, the parent can be an invisible bone that is not necessarily a part of the vehicle, but is just a controller that exists. And if you notice, that's the reason why they're able to all rotate in unison while also moving independently on their own. So that would be a parent-child constraint in use. Alright, so let's take a look at the animation between the robot mode and the vehicle mode, or vice versa. Okay, so basically what I like to do in mine is make sure there's a lot of movement going around, making sure that you can see where there are some pieces going, but also seeing that there are pieces being tucked inside. I kind of like the idea of them folding inside out. So if you look at this render right here, you can see that the blue is the vehicle parts and the orange is the final robot parts, and the final robot mode has very little actual vehicle kibble on it. So lastly, let's look at this transformation I did for Cliff Jumper. Now, if you notice, a lot of the pieces of the vehicle are not present in the robot mode, but as you transform, they pop out, they scale out, they come out, and then they become the exterior. So you're essentially stuffing the robot parts in and taking the vehicle parts out and making those come on the outside.